Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Rockingham Speedway, better known as The Rock. Mark Murphy here, P1 Broadcasting, along with my good friend and colleague Justin Petchower for the Rockingham 140 miles, the NTRL Xfinity, the NTRL Prospec Custom Accessories Xfinity Series. Again, Mark Murphy, live here on P1 Broadcasting, joined by the great Justin Petchower. And Justin, we're looking at a foggy day here at the Rock.
Yeah. When I got to the track this morning, I looked up at you, and you just shrugged your shoulders like nothing I could do. I was like, "Who left the humidifier on?"
Yeah, so this does have some precedent. There was a stock car race won by Richard Petty of all people. At Pocono, I believe, in the 70s that was run in heavy fog. Do not change the graphics settings on your computers, folks. That is just the humidity. We'll go ahead and pop the weather here in for you, Rockingham, North Carolina. It is 68 degrees, 77 on the track. The humidity is 100% for the session, folks. And so that's the reason you're seeing the haze across the racetrack. That's the reason you're seeing the haze across the racetrack right now. It is very, very balmy here at the Rockingham Speedway.
Balmy is an understatement.
There you go. And speaking of balmy, we might have some heat going into some right side tires today, Justin. Why don't you talk a little bit about what these guys are going to be feeling today?
Well, you got two different types of banking across all four corners. You got 22 degrees in turns 1 and 2, 24, just 2 degrees higher in turns 3 and 4. Now, the scan here for Rockingham was done in 2011. It was released in 2012, so we should be getting a new version soon with the debut of NASCAR 25, the game, by iRacing and Monster Games for next year. So, with that being said, the bumps here are incredible, especially because how old the surface is. This place it chews up tires. I'm not going to use a cheese grater description because the cheese grater was broken when you tried to scrape it across the track surface.
It's a lot like Darlington, South Carolina, in my recollection. Very, 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 very abrasive. I have been here both as a spectator and driven on this track as in a driving school situation. It is very, very technical. The wall over there off of turn 2 is probably going to be our hotspot, Justin.
Oh yeah. If you're running that low line in 1 and 2 over the course of a run near the end of the tire life, so to say, you're just going to wash straight up the exit of turn 2 and tank slap that wall. So you're going to see guys basically get very amphibious with their lines over the course of the run. The preferred lines are probably most likely going to be the middle groove and up against the wall as the run goes on. As we see over here in a couple of qualifying attempts, they're running different lines to find out where that grip is going to be. Now, the first 10 laps, you're going to see guys run the bottom, but after 10 laps, you're going to see the speed start to slow down a bit as they fight for that grip, especially over the bumps in all four corners here. So it's going to be an interesting race. This is why I love Rockingham. And when the NASCAR iRacing Fixed Series in its inaugural season in 2013 came here, all of us, we were basically running the dynamic surface before dynamic surface was even thought of, because we were running low, middle, high, just searching for that grip that we could use to try and get past the person that was ahead of us.
And speaking of dynamic, this series, the NTRL Prospec Custom Accessories Xfinity Series, has been very dynamic in terms of results and people run up front. Last week, we saw Zeth Hawley take the win from Ryan Pasacco. Matt Sisler ran third. Derek Welch and Nicholas Tucker completed the top 5. An extremely close points battle. Leaving Texas. Matt Sisler by 2 points over Alfie Sharon Jr. Chris Gones third. He's 5 markers back. And then you've got to go a ways. 20 points to Zeth Hawley in fourth. Derek Welch rounds out the top 5 in points. He is 24 markers in arrears. But I got to tell you, we saw a pretty wild show last week in Texas in terms of strategy. There were 5 cautions in that race, 126 laps. This series does run 55% fuel, Justin, and so you'll see all sorts of different stuff. There is a tire limit. I believe I saw 3 sets in the pits and one on the car to start the race. And so with the fuel window that they've got, you can probably go 50 laps on gas if you really, really push it. But you're going to want tires long before that, I do believe.
Oh, yes. If you get over aggressive in your driving style here, Rockingham is going to treat you like kind of like what Darlington does. You get over aggressive and you burn those tires up, straight to the back you go. So the best mentality you can go with, save your tires as best you can. Let the guys up in front of you just burn the rubber off to the point you can literally capitalize on their mistakes.
And speaking of tires and Darlington and the remaining schedule, today is a tire race at Rockingham, 140 laps. Next week, we're going to go to Kansas for 125 laps in a night race. That is also known for being fairly abrasive on its tires. Richmond in 2 weeks for a 165-lap night race. Then Chicagoland in Michigan, not known for being hard on tires. Those are coming up at the end of September. We kick off October with Charlotte, then Atlanta, Iowa, and Las Vegas. Iowa will be on my 43rd birthday, so Justin, you can send the presents directly to me for that. And then the final 2 races, Talladega and Championship Monday, Homestead on November the 11th is the remaining schedule. Many of those are at night, and I got to say, I am a huge fan of night races.
I'm a fan of both night races and day races. It just depends on the location.
Absolutely. We'll get the live standings up right now. Caleb Sisk on the pole, 24.087. Joshua Moore second, Dylan Bryan third, Paul Durkee fourth, and Matt Sizzler rounds out your top 5. Last week's pole sitter Chris Gomes in 6th, Nicholas Tucker 7th, Joseph Bennett 8th, Brandon Coleman 9th, and Mike Koravu round out your top 10 as we wait for the last 95 seconds of qualifications here at Rockingham. We still have, I believe I'm seeing that right, we still have at least 6 cars yet to take time.
They're probably playing a smart strategy by not taking time and just wanting to start in the back, because Rockingham is also known for chaos.
Seven cars, although Thomas Welch just lit up on the timing screen. Let's see if we can't take a look at Thomas, the number 9 Mountain Dew machine. Very, very slow on the apron. You can tell this is one of those tracks where you want to roll out really slow, Justin, kind of save those tires.
Indeed.
All right, let's watch him go through turns 3 and 4. Going to kind of keep it low a little bit. We'll go on his roll bar. Talk me through a lap here.
Going off through 1 and 2 here, a little bit of a loose situation there going through 1 and 2. It's those bumps that catch you off guard, even on cold tires when you're trying to make a qualifying run under these conditions here. Gets right in the middle here, lets it drift up just a tad bit, brings it back down to the bottom. Coming off of turn 4 here, oh, a little loose again. That's a wall.
Yeah, he might have crunched the wall a little bit. That car very, very loose. In the simulation runs that I did earlier, the second lap would have been the fastest. Of course, Thomas Welch, by touching the wall there, invalidates the lap, and he'll pull over and shut it down. 25.632, his first and only lap, good for 28th quick. And that will end qualifications here at Rockingham in the Prospec Custom Accessories NTRL Xfinity Series.
Let's go ahead and bring up the grid here.
Absolutely. Take it away, Justin.
As we get you set here for 140 laps at the Rockingham in the Sandhills of North Carolina. On the pole, 006 just one off from 007. I kind of wish he would have had 007 because we probably would have nicknamed that car the James Bond car. Starting next to him will be the number 18 of Joshua Moore, followed by Dylan Bryant, Paul Durkee, Matt Sizzler, Chris Gones, Nicholas Tucker, Joseph Bennett, Brandon Coleman, and Mike Corriveau in your top 10. Take it away for our next round.
Justin Lawson will start 11th in the number 20. He's flanked by Anthony Williams in the number 5. Alfie Sharon Jr. and Nick Biddy are going to make up row 7. Row 8, Zeth Hawley, last week's winner, flanked by Skylar Harrod in the number 3. Jesse Redding starts 17th, Joe DeVete 18th, Russell Endicott 19th, and Crystal Villano rounds out your top 20. 21st, Benjamin McKinnon. 22nd, Chris Klein. Row 12 is going to be Derek Welch and Andy Sizemore. The 13th row, Jarrett Woodard and Paul Ferdiani. Row 14, Scott Milner and Thomas Welch. 15th row, Michael Bennett. And 30th, Chuck Kiger. Starting 31st, Sean Roberts. Then Hayden Malcolm, Chris Schusler, and Tom Barish will be shotgun on the field, not listed on the grid. Kind of a well-known bug in our display program there. But 34 cars signed in today for our race here at Rockingham, and a good-looking field, Justin.
Indeed, we have a good-looking field, and we just got note here. The second place starter of Joshua Moore, the 22 of Chuck Kiger, and Thomas Welch have all been given EOL penalties. So that will essentially shake up the grid here.
Yeah, that's going to do a lot. So anytime you get the outside pole sitter headed for the back, that's a big deal. Going to be fun to watch Joshua Moore charge through the field. Of course, other notables: Zeth Hawley won last week's event in a very, very, very well played tire strategy call. We saw Matt Sizzler drive through the field several times on his way to a fine second or to a fine third, and so really looking forward to that as pace car is off. We're getting ready to come to green, Justin.
Green. They come back here in real life next year for the first time since 2004, but let's go from Rockingham in NTRL. Good start for the pole sitters. They go off through 1 and 2 here. Already got a couple of cars that are trying to get down low. That way they can start planning out their strategy of trying to save their tires as best they can, but also trying not to run over each other with this light fog as they come off of turn 4.
And that's something that we haven't really touched upon very well as we watch Nicholas Tucker and Anthony Williams do battle. That's something we really didn't touch upon is the sight. It is foggy in these race cars, and Nicholas Tucker gets in the wall. Hard impact on the inside.
There.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
I'm counting at least 4 or 5 cars, maybe 6 cars involved. No, more cars involved on the back. That's at least half the field.
I counted at least 5 automobiles involved in that, and let's see if we can't go back and get back in the Wayback Machine and see exactly what happened here to Brandon Coleman and others. So we got to go back one more. He's racing side by side with Nicholas Tucker there in the 88. Tell us what you see, Justin.
Just seeing the old adage of the turn 2 wall bites you hard coming off of turn 2 if you run that high side early on. He just washed up into the wall, bounced off, ricocheted into Brandon Coleman, and it was on from there. And, oh, man, huge hits for a number of these guys. One car almost up into the catchments. That was Justin Lawson, nose first, riding the wall as they went down through Thunder Alley here.
Yeah, let's go back and watch this from the perspective of Skylar Harrod. We'll get one good look, and you do not get a whole lot of time to react when one of these accidents happens in front of you. There you see the contact of the wall, the contact of the car inside. Tucker keeps his machine straightened up. They come back across the track, and there's just nowhere to go. That narrows up so quickly, and from there the wreck is on, Justin.
Yep, it's a course blocker. That's pretty much all it is. And Rockingham has been known to have wrecks like this happen before.
The good news is everybody gets a fast repair in this series. So Nicholas Tucker, Joe David, Skylar Harrod, among others, have taken their fast repair. We're going to see the 18 come to pit lane as well. That is...
Yeah, a number of these guys
Joshua
definitely
Moore.
did not. Yeah, a number of these guys definitely did not want to use their fast repair this early on in the race.
No, and there's a strategy to it. If you remember, Justin, when we were doing the
Dover race.
I'm gonna go back. When we were doing during the pandemic, when we were doing the virtual races online, and they had the IndyCar Pro Series, they had the NASCAR Pro Series, they had all these different items where the guys were doing the sim races. There was discussion, if I recall, they did an IndyCar race at Michigan of all places, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. ran in that, and I remember he caught a little bit of damage early and strategically did not use his fast repair. So you do want to save those things. It's not something where you want to come in and have to use it right away.
Yeah, the only time you want to use that fast repair is if there's tremendous damage, which, case in point, we saw here on the backstretch. If there's just a tad bit of damage, nah, just go in, see how much damage there is, get it fixed up and everything.
Absolutely. So to reset the field for you, Caleb Siskel leaded in the 006. He's ahead of Paul Durkee in the 13, who is P2. Dylan Bryant, 3rd. Chris Goins, 4th. Matt Sisler, 5th. Joseph Bennett, 6th. Anthony Williams and Michael Corvo run 7th and 8th. Nick Biddy, 9th. Zeth Hawley is 10th. And that is your top 10 as we work lap 6 under caution from Rockingham, North Carolina, the virtual Rockingham Speedway. Did want to give a shout out to some of our sponsors here in the series. Accelerate your success with Track Bar Media, tailored for small business owners. We craft dynamic social media content, custom iRacing videos, and unique merch with no minimums. Maximize your reach with our national billboard placement and meet our elite Track Bar Motorsports esports team. Track Bar Media, affordable, impactful, and fast. Race over to trackbarmedia.net now to learn more as we head back to green, Justin.
Green, green, green.
Let's try this again, and hopefully there's not more chaos. But a good start there for Caleb as they go after 1 and 2. Already, I hope these guys just start taking it easy, especially coming off of turn 2, because it takes a little bit, even under these cold conditions, for the tires to get up to race temperature, as we like to call it in the business.
Yes, it does. We're watching Zeth Hawley, Andy Sizemore, Derek Welch, Jesse Redding, among others. They battle for 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. The inside does appear as though it's going to prevail at least early, doesn't it, Justin?
It'll prevail for about the first 10 or so laps, but then you'll see guys start to move up towards the middle lane and the high line and caution.
Caution is out.
And back over in turn 3. It was another situation of the wall grabbing somebody, and oh no, Mark.
Yes, sir.
The Busta's car is wrecked.
You know, and that's a shame. That is a good-looking machine. That is, we are, of course, talking about Sean Roberts in the Fast and Furious painted Toyota Supra. It appears as though the 22, and that would be... appears as though the 22 just kind of came off the wall. Sean got collected, and then nowhere to go for Joe David at the end of that. Caution on the speedway. Again, saving grace, you do have fast repair, but we've now had 2 large incidents in the first 10 laps of this race, and we've got several of our fast guys that have now used those fast repairs.
Yeah, this is probably not what they were wanting. not what they were wanting at all. And what I see on the replay over here on my screen is Chuck Geiger in the 22 was running that high line through 1 and 2. In my opinion, that's just a little too early to try and run that high line.
It does loosen up over there for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it also, early on in the run, it gets tight until the tires start to wear off, and then you can start moving up towards the high line.
Let's get it from the blimp and see what we can see. He's going down the front straight there. Mike could fast forward just a little bit. Okay.
He's trying to run a line I haven't seen at Rockingham in a long time, even on iRacing. He's trying to arc it almost down like it's a little bit like Darlington. And you could somewhat get away with that here at Rockingham, but not this early on in the race.
No, and that's very true, Justin. You know, and as much as these tracks are similar, they're not that far apart. If you were to look at a map, Rockingham, North Carolina, Darlington, South Carolina are within probably an easy hour's drive of each other. Rockingham just to the south of, or just to the north of the South Carolina state line. Darlington just to the south of the North Carolina state line. They are not that far apart. The same kind of asphalt used in both tracks. Very gritty. It's that kind of pavement. For the people at home, it's that kind of pavement. If you look at it, you can see it shining back at you, like almost the glassiness and the sand that's in it. And if you remember, Justin, back in the 80s and 90s, you would see pictures of Rockingham, Darlington, where the fronts of the cars would be sandblasted from the surface.
Not as sandblasted as what we saw at Auto Club last year for the last ever 2-mile race weekend on the 2-mile oval, especially in the Cup Series, where the paint, I don't know what to call it. The paint jobs. There we go.
Well,
they're just torn off.
They're wraps now. But
yeah, the wraps.
Yeah, I can recall. Go look up a picture of Bill Elliott in the Junior Johnson Budweiser number 11 from a race at Rockingham. The nose will be completely white on the red Ford Thunderbird. But we're getting ready to come back to green here. Caleb Sisk will lead it from Paul Durkee. Chris Gones is third. Dylan Bryant fourth. Matt Sisler fifth. Joseph Bennett sixth. Mike Corvo seventh. Nick Biddy eighth. Zeth Hawley has moved up 6 spots to ninth. And Jesse Redding will round out your top 10.
Pace car getting ready to pull off here as we get ready to go back green for the third time. And hopefully we get some good green flag racing in here.
Green, green, green.
In the restart zone, Caleb with another good start. Second place, spun his tires just a little bit. Well, everybody spun their tires just a little bit. As they go up through 1 and 2 here. See if we make it through this time.
Hopefully we do indeed. That's Jesse Redding battling with Mike Corvo. Zeth Hawley going to turn it to the high side. He's going to make a bid for ninth on Corvo. And we'll get back to Zeth here. See him working that Jeff Gordon throwback machine to the high side. He'll come down to start lap number 14 in ninth spot.
Yeah, good run through 1 and 2 there. And that Jeff Gordon somewhat throwback Pepsi scheme there. He goes to the inside as they go up into 3 here. Pushes up the car he's trying to pass just a little bit up the track there, and it's going to work to his advantage for now.
Yeah, he went right by Andy Sizemore. He went right by Andy Sizemore and set sail after Joseph Bennett. Bennett in that 00 Prospec machine. But Zeth Hawley, the man on the move, we're watching him. He's 8th. He's looking for 7th. Got to be careful, though. Don't burn up those tires.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to burn those tires off right now. Still side by side as they come off of turn 4 here. Running that preferred lane on the bottom for now. But like I said, you're going to start seeing guys move up towards that middle and high line as the run progresses, to where you'll actually start seeing guys that are on the low line get blown by guys that are running the middle groove and the high line through all 4 corners here. primarily through 3 and 4 because of the 24-degree banking.
Now, Hawley did make the pass. He's made it up to 7th over Sizemore in 8th, Bennett 9th, Redding 10th. We are going to go back to the battle for the lead, though, because Chris Goins is all over the back of Caleb Sisk.
Yeah, he's biding his time here as they go down through Thunder Alley into turn 3 and 4 here. He's trying to find the spot of where he can get the most grip right now, and it looks like he might have found just a little bit of it, just moving up half a lane to almost a full lane through 3 and 4. But 1 and 2, you see pretty much the guys that are up in the top 10 right now running that bottom lane, as that is the preferred lane. You see here, Caleb is he's almost diamond cutting his corner through 3 and 4.
Yeah, the top 3, and we're going to ride on board with Paul Durkee in the 13 machine. He's got the best seat in the house for the battle for the lead right now. Goins runs in front of him, Sisk in the lead, of course. But you're watching these guys. The top 3 all have 3 different lines, and they're all running really roughly the same time. 24:7:63 that time for Sisk. He had about half a tenth over Goins in second. Dylan Bryant about the same speed in 4th. And we're going to see we've got a battle for 3rd here. That's going to be Dylan Bryant going to the inside of Paul Durkee. Says hello.
Yeah, he had the run, but it wasn't enough as they went through 3 and 4. Now Bryant's going to try and run that high line through 3 and 4. Pulls up just a little bit. Closes up on Paul Durkee here as they get ready to go in 1 and 2 here. Good battle nonetheless, but as for now, Bryant thinks better of it and just says, probably don't want to push it this hard already.
Looking on board with Matt Sisler, he runs 5th in the 93. Matt Sisler was the fastest car on the Speedway last week at Texas. Just kind of one of those tire strategy deals. He went to the back, he went to the front, he got caught out on a double stint. He drove it from deep in the field back up to 3rd at the end of that race. Didn't quite enough have time to get back to it, but Matt Sisler always one to watch in the 93 Toyota.
Fantastic charge nonetheless last week at Texas, but let's see if he can pull that rabbit out of the hat like he did at Texas here at Rockingham. It'll be interesting to see.
Front 5 have separated themselves a little bit, and then you've got to go back about a second to last week's winner, Zeth Hawley. He runs 6th. Andy Sizemore is 7th in the 27. Joseph Bennett 8th in the Prospec 00. Jesse Redding runs 9th in the Track Bar Media number 21. And Nick Biddy right behind them. So we got a knot of cars from 7th to about 13th there. Mike Corvu. There you see his 97. He is 11th. Anthony Williams in the number 5 is 12th. Nicholas Tucker in the 88 bounced off the wall earlier. He has moved himself back to 13th. That is your top 13, and they are more or less within 4.5 seconds of each other. You've got to go back another couple of seconds to Paul Ferdiani, and Paul has, as you can see, a bit of an advantage over Derek Welch in 15th. He's in a battle with Michael Bennett, who just went by in the 64 there for 15th, so make Bennett 15th, Welch 16th. Russell Endicott in the 57, he is 17th. We've got Chris Klein and Alfie Sharon Jr. They're 18th and 19th, or 19th and 18th, as they were. Both of those cars involved.
2 lap cars in front of them.
Yeah, both of those cars involved a little fracas earlier. Looking at the 51 of Chris Klein, and then there's Alfie Sharon Jr. the 78. Rounding out your top 20, Scott Milner. Now there's a good-looking machine, gold, red, and 2 different shades of blue on a Valvoline Supra. I always liked that car.
Yeah, it was a neat design, so to say.
Scott Riggs, if I remember, was that Scott Riggs that ran the gold? I know Mark Martin never did, right? That would have been Riggs later on, correct?
No, I believe that was the Penske cars in 2005.
Could have been. Something happened to the number 4 there. Very slow high on that machine. Let's see if we can't figure that out.
Ooh, there was contact. Oh, Off of turn 2, I'm looking at the 11 of Brandon Coleman. He had a Russell Endicott just bouncing off the wall. And, oh my goodness, that was a double tank slapper, as I'll call it. First off the wall and second off of another car.
So that's the turn 2 wall we talked about. Russell Endicott, little high off, and it just wants to reach out and grab you. And it reached out and grabbed Brandon Coleman. He is going to go 4 laps down as he sits on pit lane. Back to the lead here. Caleb Sisk still under fire from Chris Gomes.
Chris Gomes, as they come off of turn 2 with an excellent run. But is he going to be able to mount that charge back up going into turn 3 here? Caleb Sisk pulls away just a tad bit, washes up, gets a little bit loose as they come off of turn 4 here. Chris Gomes with an excellent run as they go off into turn number 1.
We'll get the P1 drone just to fly right in front of Caleb Sisk. Great look over the top of that SWR Chevrolet Camaro. Chris Gomes second, Paul Durkee third, Dylan Bryant fourth. The front 5, if you include Matt Sisler, are within a second of each other as they work lap number 32.
The top 5 under a blanket as they come off of turn number 4 here. Chris Gomes trying everything he can to get by Caleb Sisk. It's not working as they go through 1 and 2 here. They have a lap car in front, so the lap car may come into play here as a pick for Chris Gomes. Chris Gomes with the run as they go into turn 3. Not going to be enough. Caleb throws the block, and Caleb adjusts his line in the middle group as they come off of turn 4.
Back to the stripe, going to get lap 34. We're going to go on board with the man who has the absolute best ticket for this race right now. That is Matt Sisler. He is 5th, pulls right up on the back of Dylan Bryant in 4th. You can hear him working the throttle, and that's why I love this view. You can hear him working the throttle as Bryant's going to take a look to the inside of Durkee for 3rd.
Bryant with an excellent run as they come off of turn 4, side by side with Durkee. Durkee got a little bit loose. Bryant saw that there was possible chaos that was about to happen. He backed out of it, thought better, and that stacks up just a little bit as they come off of turn 2 and down Thunder Alley towards turn 3.
Absolutely. The battle for first, second, third, fourth, and 5th rages on. We're watching 3rd, 4th, and 5th. The front 2 have stabilized a little bit. Dylan Bryant desperately trying to get past Paul Durkee to get into 3rd.
Yeah, he wants to try and find a way to get around him because he says, hey, I got a damn good car here. I want to throw my name into this battle here for the lead. And he might get that chance because here come the leaders. They've already caught up to some of the lap traffic as they come back to the start-finish line here. Chris goes with that run. I think he's got it. He might have it as they go off into 1. No, not enough.
Good job by Crystal Volano to stay out of the way there. Very good job from her. Gotta feel kind of bad for Crystal. She has run very, very well the last couple of weeks that we've carried the broadcast here, the NTRL Xfinity Prospec Custom Accessories Xfinity Series, and hate to see her get wadded up and have her car hurt early. But the battle just continues. Knock down, drag out for 3rd. Bryant going to take it to the low side one more time.
Perfect battle here as they come off of turn 2, going into turn 3. Still side by side with Bryant and Durkee. Sisler is there. He wants to try and find a way to get by, but with how quick you get around this place and at certain places how narrow it is, good luck trying to get by because it's a rolling roadblock. I might as well add, we might as well say there's 6 cars now under a blanket in this battle here because Hawley has caught up to this pack up in front of him.
He has. Now, Sisk and Gones, we're going to go back to them because Caleb Sisk and Chris Gones have separated themselves by about half a second over Durkee, Bryant, Sisler, and now Zeth Hawley.
There's Vic.
Has joined that fight, and they are all over each other. 2, 3, almost 4 wide going through turns 3 and 4 there.
Yeah, you can somewhat get away with 4 wide here, but that's only if you know how to use the lap down cars as a pick, and that was the case with Dylan Bryant. He got Durkee shoved up in behind another one of the lap down cars, and he pulled away, but he's also bringing Sizzler with him.
Yeah, give a call down to the 61. That was Chris Schusler. Did a fine job of staying out of the way of those leaders and letting them race on. It has separated out a little bit now, so Sisk, your leader, will go back to his fight with Chris Gones. Those two continue to be in extremely close contact. And then you've got a little bit of distance back to Dylan Bryant, about half a second to him. Matt Sizzler is going to run fourth, and Paul Durkee round out your top five.
Yeah, back to Dylan, though, with that Superman paint scheme he's using all of his might. He just wants to he's just hoping that there's no kryptonite that affects him in this race. And right now, he's using his Superman powers to catch up towards the front two over here as they go down to turn 3. Sizzler also joining that battle as it's starting to get the fog is starting to lift just a tad bit. It's not as bad as it was at the start.
It's not. The track is getting a little bit warmer, 97 degrees on the speedway, 68 in the air. But the warmer it gets, the fog is going to lift a little bit. We're going to watch him go. We're going to watch Dylan Bryant try to work around the 22 of Chuck Kiger. Try to keep the leaders in his sights. The Hux machine stays high. Sizzler and Bryant go down around the bottom. Something that we haven't touched on of recent lap times. So the fast lap of the race is owned by Chris Gones, 24.479. Right now, Gones' last lap, 25.875. They are almost a second and a half off the pace. And Justin, when I ran the numbers early and I ran a few laps, it appeared as though the pit window for fuel was anywhere between 50 and 60. But if you came and got four fresh Goodyear tires, you'd be walking in high cotton right about now.
Indeed you would. As this place just chews up tires, you have to pick and choose when you want to go in, when you want that pit stop to turn into your favor, because sometimes the undercut will work, sometimes the overcut can work. Other times, your scheduled pit stop may be the one that works out best, but majority of the time here, the undercut can always help out because of how quick you go around here. And the tire fall off, if you abuse the tires here, it's a second to almost 2 seconds of tire fall off, depending on how aggressive your driving style is. If you're conservative, it'll work out to your advantage. If you're aggressive, straight to the back you go.
And we've got takers now. Scott Milner in the 31, the Valvoline machine. He pulls it down pit road. He's going to take a set of tires, and it will put him back to 30th place in the running order. But we've got one taker. So the first man has flinched. That is Scott Milner. He's going to go back to 30th position. And let's just kind of see what his lap times are as he pulls it back onto the speedway. But he is going to look, and we've got others coming to pit road now. But let's see what he does here. Leaders last time by 26.046. Milner's outlap, a minute 1:3:80 as he works through 1 and 2. Justin, what's the bet here? 24 what?
24, mid 24 is what I'd say.
Mid 24s, fast lap of the day, 24.479 for Chris Gones. Scott Milner, the first man on new tires. He flashes past 25.894, so maybe just a little bit to get up to speed. Nicholas Tucker, he's bringing his car to pit road. Jarrett Woodard is on pit road. Russell Endicott, Andy Sizemore now have all come to the pit lane.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a reshuffling of the pack here with green flag pit stops, but I would not expect the current leaders to change their positions. They're just trying to figure out when the best time to pit is.
Yeah, and that's going to be the thing as we go back to Caleb Sisk. Scott Milner did run a lap at 24.9, got caught up in some traffic, so lost a lap of good. The front two, Sisk and Gones, and really the front three, Dylan Bryant, no disadvantage for them to stay out a little bit. The guys that are stopping are the guys that were in the back anyway, may just gone a lap down or close enough to it. As we've got Chris Gones headed for pit lane, and my did he slide the tires coming in there.
Yeah, he was doing everything he could to try and not get busted for speeding, because this pit road here, it's agonizingly slow, 40 miles an hour, and it's narrow as well.
Yeah, and he got the car just in kind of an odd position on the transition. Not only that, got some rear brake bias dialed into that 41 car, and he had it about 45 degrees out of shape. He does get down to pit road speed, so good job from Chris Gones. We'll watch him roll away. That will put Alfie Sharon Jr. in the lead. Now, Sharon did stop. He's already been pit lane twice. He was involved in an earlier accident, but he has 43 laps on his current run, and that'll put him in the lead. Chris Klein second. Sisk, Bennett, Corvo, Redding, Herod, all on the pit lane. And we're watching them fall backwards. You do lose a lap. There are now only 4 machines, and Gones is going to go. Does he go the lap down? He did not. So that's why you make the hot pit entry, folks. Chris Gones maintained his position on the lead lap.
Yeah, he timed it perfect. As of right now, we only have 4 cars in the lead lap. But when Alfie Sharon goes in, you're going to see these guys that are already a lap down reshuffle back up to the lead lap, unless they're 2 laps down.
And just what a spectacular shot out of the back of the number 41 of Chris Gones, as you just see him pull away from Alfie Sharon Jr., Chris Klein, and Jarrett Woodard. The cars of Bryant and Sizzler are right behind the leader, and so they may stand to get their laps back here in very short order. Watching Bryant see if he can't work his way around. Alfie Sharon Jr., your leader. We would expect Sharon, Klein, and Woodard on pit road within the next 8 to 10 laps.
I would probably venture and bet to say 7 laps, maybe even 6.
Yeah, and those guys, I mean, they're hoping for a caution here, and there's no shame in that, right? I mean, it's a strategy.
No.
I spent the weekend at the Milwaukee Mile with my father watching the IndyCar Series doubleheader up there, and cautions in pit cycles definitely played a role in both events, but that's all part of the strategy of racing. And so good for Sharon, Klein, and Woodard. They're staying out there, maybe saving a set of tires, and hoping maybe for a little bit of racing luck. Nothing wrong with that.
Especially here, nothing wrong with that at all. Yep, and we just got the notification. Sharon is in. He's going in.
He's going in. Chris Klein, as you see it, is on pit road. We'll cover the stop for Alfie Sharon Jr. Pulls the number 78 down off of turns number 3 and 4 onto the banking. Very, very, very controlled, unlike what we saw from Chris Gones. But as Sharon pulls into pit lane, Woodard was on the pit lane, as was Klein, and so that's going to cycle the lead, and we'll watch the pits off for Alfie Sharon Jr. But that's going to cycle Chris Gones back to the lead of this race, with Dylan Bryant second and Caleb Sisk third.
Dylan Bryant definitely is thanking his crew for getting him out when he did, but here comes Caleb Sisk. Goes to the bottom underneath Dylan Bryant and gets the position and the pass complete on Dylan Bryant. But now Dylan Bryant has a few cars of lap traffic behind him, and right now it's it's insanity.
It is. Now here's the thing, Justin, and here's the thing that I'd like to point out. Chris Gones, 6.8 seconds. Dylan Bryant, 8.8 seconds. Matt Sizzler, 8.3. And Seth Hawley, 8.5. I don't believe that P2, 3, 4, or 5 took tires. Caleb Sisk, 14.5 seconds in his box. That tells me that Sisk put 4 Mr. Feelgood's on the number 006 machine, and that would be why he has driven away, caught, passed, and driven away from Gones, Bryant, Sizzler, and Hawley, who remain your top 5. Just to thank our sponsors and make sure that we give them all of the credit where credit is due. I want to thank them for their support. Beadle's Custom Car Carriers. We create 1/64 scale model car carriers, and we also make all of our kits in-house. We can make trucks to your specs. You can check me out at Beadle's Custom Car Carriers on Facebook and at Beadle's on Instagram. Also, Davidson Builders, LLC is a beacon of excellence in Cape May County, New Jersey, and stands as a testament to family values and military dedication. As a veteran-owned and operated general contractor, remodeler with over 25 years of unmatched experience, we marry quality with affordability. From tailored customizations to expert craftsmanship, we paint dreams into reality across residential and commercial landscapes. Check them out. That's www.davidsonbuilders.com. So to reset the field for you, the first round of pit stops are complete, 11 to 12 laps into the second stint. The 006 of Caleb Sisk leads, the 41 of Chris Gones. Matt Sizzler in the 93 is third. Dylan Bryant fourth. And Paul Durkee is fifth. Mark Murphy, P1 Broadcasting, alongside the effervescent Justin Petchower, live from the Rockingham Speedway, working at lap 66 of a scheduled 140 in the NTRL Prospec Custom Accessories Rockingham 140. And Justin, we've had a pretty good one, but I think the tire strategy is already starting to play out.
Yes, indeed. The tire strategy is already starting to play out. A number of these guys that are behind Caleb are going, maybe we should have taken tires, because Caleb right now has pulled out to almost a 5-second lead over Chris Gones in second place. And Caleb is just maneuvering his way through lap traffic. And now with the rest of the guys that only took fuel and decided not to take tires for this go-round, essentially save a set, they're probably going, yeah.
So let's show the fans at home what the difference is from a car that's got new tires. We're on board with Caleb Sisk right now, but just listen to him maneuver that 006 around the speedway, and then we'll go on board with Chris Gones. The car of Caleb Sisk is a full second a lap nearly faster than his competitors, and so it's kind of instructive.
Just feathering that throttle. It's all you can do.
You don't hear him sliding the tires. It's not spinning up on him. It's not loose. His hands are very steady. Now, I bet we're going to have a different story when we go back to Chris Gones here. You see Durkee going inside for second. Hear him playing with the throttle off the corner, Justin?
He's struggling. He's struggling.
That car hurting for grip. Durkee 13.8 seconds in the box, so I would surmise that he also has tires on the 13 machine. So Gones now third, Matt Sizzler fourth, and Dylan Bryant fifth. We'll get out of there. Let's go back and talk about some guys that are a little bit further back in the field. The 12, Benjamin McKinnon, one lap down. He's 19th. That's the Hellman's number 12 machine, Chevrolet Camaro. Good looking race car. You've got the number 3 of Skylar Harrod. He is a lap down in 20th. That's the skunkworksgraphics.com number 3 Toyota Camry. And that sounds really odd to say that, doesn't it, Justin? The number 3 Toyota Camry?
Yeah. I think a certain fan base will go, that's blasphemy.
But it's a good looking.
Trouble off of turn 4. One car sliding into pit road. It is the 91 of Hayden Malcolm.
He made it to pit road, though, and he's going to make it into his pit box. And let's see exactly what we've got here. And there you see it, Hayden Malcolm. He's on the bottom and just kind of turns loose with him on the paint, doesn't it?
Yep, and around she goes.
He's going to get away with it, though. Just some very light contact with the nose on the inside retaining wall in the pit lane. He gets it woed up, gets it stopped, gets it pointed in the right direction, and he's just going to go right on about his pit stop. Now, I would be willing to bet that the Apex Sim racing machine is going to have a speeding penalty.
Yes, he did.
But beyond that, well done. And we'll just kind of continue to go back. There's the Dan Gurney car that I call it, the 79 of Jarrett Woodard, reminiscent of the GTP Eagles from my youth on the 79. So good looking car for Jarrett Woodard. 22nd, Scott Milner. We talked about him very briefly earlier. He was the first car to pit lane and the first car with tires. He is one lap down in 22nd.
I hate to interrupt you there, but speaking of tires, Chris Goins just came on to pit road. I think he's going for tires this go around.
Yeah, let's see if he hits the jacks here on the 41. I got a shiny new dime that says we're going to see that car get some tires.
Yep, there it goes.
Yep, there he goes up and away in the 88. That's Nicholas Tucker also in for tires. Now, we are tire limited here, Justin, so there may be an incentive to double stint them. We're going to watch Goins get off the pit road and onto the racetrack. He's going to lose a lap, but no matter. He was losing time in buckets to Caleb Sisk. By the way, Sharon and Bennett made that strategy work. They are third and fourth and right together on the racetrack, but they made that go long strategy work. They got fresh tires and they are third and fourth now. Sizzler fifth, Bryant relegated back to sixth, and he has Andy Sizemore going by him for sixth, so put Dylan Bryant back to seventh. And then last week's winner, Zeth Hawley, did not take tires on that first go around, and he is. And we got a car. Was that the 88? That is the 88 of Nick Tucker, and I mean to tell you, race fans, he came off of turn two, and the guys behind him got a nice view of the driver's side window. Justin.
Yeah, he saved it. I'll say that. He did a good job of not destroying the car any further.
That was some people I know from back home used to say that was a pretty fair piece of country driving right there out of Nicholas Tucker. But he'll get the 88 pointed back in the right direction, get it back in the fight. 25th, 2 laps down for Nicholas Tucker.
Yeah, not the day he was hoping to have, but case in point, that's Rockingham for you. Chaos will always reign supreme here.
It most certainly does. Car that kind of had some trouble earlier, 24th. That's Sean Roberts in the Fast and Furious Supra. He's 24th. The 18 of Joshua Moore. Haven't really talked about him all that much. He was involved in one of those early accidents and still carrying some damage to the rear of that 18 Camaro. He's 23rd. And then we'll kind of bounce back a little bit. 26th, that's Jesse Redding in the number 21 Ford Mustang Dark Horse. 27th is the number 20 Camaro. That's People Ready for Justin Lawson. The People Ready Camaro, number 20, is in 27th. Russell Endicott has the Ladies Love Outlaws, number 57 Ford Mustang Dark Horse. He is 28th. Joe David is 29th in the number 6 Mustang. We've got Bonefish on the side of that Mustang. Good looking machine. And then 30th, Chris Schusler, and Schusler 4 laps down. He's been working hard just to make laps at times. But a wonderful job of perseverance from Chris Schusler, 30th on the field. Tom Barish is 22 laps down on pit lane. Brandon Coleman, 31 laps down. Brandon in the 11, still circulating, as is Hayden Malcolm, 33 laps down in the 91. Crystal Volano out of the event in 34th, and shotgun on the field. We'll head back to Caleb Sisk, but that is your full field rundown. And Sisk back into lap traffic, Justin.
Yeah, back into lap traffic, but he doesn't mind it one bit because he's got a 10-second lead over second and third, and then an 11-second lead between him and fourth. But the biggest gap so far right now is between him and sixth, which is 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's a big number, and that's a big number, and that's what having tires will do for you, Justin.
Yeah, tires, pit strategy, let alone your qualifying position for track position is crucial here. I got an idea though. We say we give them the sounds of speed here for about a lap or two at Rockingham, since we've entered into the doldrums where the field is literally strung out.
Sounds good to me, sir.
As we come up at turn 4 here, enjoy the sounds of speed. Up at turn 4, Caleb is going by Dylan Bryant in that Superman scheme. Dylan Bryant going one lap down now. We have 10 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing, Justin. And we're watching the battle between the 64 of Michael Bennett, the 13 of Paul Durkee. That is third and fourth. That is the closest battle right now on the speedway of those cars that are on the lead lap. Another battle that's ongoing though is Nick Biddy, and if you look at the 32 in the Gig Marine number 32 machine, as he runs side by side with Seth Hawley, they're fighting hard, and the reason they're fighting hard is that's the leader that's turning left under them, going down the front straightaway, fighting desperately to stay on that lead lap, Justin.
Yeah, you want to try and put all your might in to stay on the lead lap, but when you get in these long green flag runs here at Rockingham, any chance of trying to fight to stay on the lead lap usually does not end well, and you literally just get walked by the leader, well in this case ran by the leader, and you pretty much have to hope for a caution or so to either stay out, get your lead lap back, or if you burnt off the tires, go down pit road, hang out mid-pack, probably in the back, hope that another caution comes out and the leader goes in. If something has happened to the leader, that way you can, that was close for Nick Biddy there. Wow.
Yes, it was. The 27 of Nick Biddy just went a lap down. Now it's another 4 or 5 seconds up the road, but Sisk is now closing in on lapping the top 5. He's got Sizzler about another 4 or 5 seconds up. And then Chris Klein is right in front of him. We're talking about guys that have been running in the top 5 of this event now, looking at being a lap down here. That's pretty impressive, and we're not talking about a whole lot as we get on board Caleb Sisk. If you look up the road, you can see the teal machine of Matt Sizzler just right there.
He's got Matt Sizzler in his sights, and he's hoping that he can probably put the entire field a lap down, which is possible here at Rockingham, much like it is at Milwaukee and a few other places.
Getting close now to lap 100. We'll watch Caleb Sisk and definitely go ahead and pay some more bills here. Hey, Numb Thumbs Racing fans, are you looking to upgrade your ride, whether it's your truck, car, Jeep, boat, UTV, or ATV? Prospec has you covered. Locally owned and operated in Jacksonville, Florida, Duval County, Prospec specializes in high-quality accessories and installations that take your vehicle to the next level, from custom lighting like underglow and rock lights to top-of-the-line sound systems and backup cameras. We've got everything you need to make your ride truly yours. At Prospec, we bring your vision to life with precision and care. Visit us today and see why we're Jacksonville's go-to source for all things automotive and beyond. Prospec, where quality meets customization. And definitely want to thank Prospec for their support of the NTRL Xfinity Series. We are at lap number 98 of a scheduled 140 here from virtual Rockingham, North Carolina. Just took lap 99. Mark Murphy, P1 Broadcasting, with Justin Petchower on the color commentary. And Justin, Caleb Sisk is pulling the Kyle Petty from 1990 on everybody.
Yeah, he is, but he also didn't expect that Matt Sizzler would go in for a fresh set of tires. As we start to see a number of these guys say, okay, let's see if we can catch Caleb off guard here by throwing him off and going in for a pit stop for fresh tires, because he may be onto something. And sure enough, he was onto something when he took that fresh set of tires when he did.
He most certainly was. And Caleb Sisk now is coming to pit lane on lap 100, coming to get 101. Caleb Sisk in the 006 is coming to pit road. He's had enough. He is going to come get what I would think may be his final set of tires.
I think this is his final set of tires as well.
We'll see. Does he go up on the jacks and take him, or is Caleb Sisk going to... Or is Caleb Sisk just going to get gas? Now, we did see the right side of that car go up.
He's getting tired.
He is taking tires, so this would be, by our count, the final set for Sisk. He's going to come out right next to the 22. That is the laps down machine of Chuck Kiger. And Sisk lost all of 4 spots. Justin, all 4 spots. So that's going to promote Alfie Sharon Jr. back to the lead here. He is 12 seconds up on Chris Klein in second. 14 seconds back to Chris Gones. Sisk now is 4th. Only Sharon and Klein remain on the lead lap. Sharon and Klein, by the way, have been out now 42 and 43 laps respectively. And Alfie Sharon Jr. is also going to blink and come to pit road here.
Yeah, when the pit stop cycle around, Caleb Sisk will have the freshest tires out of everybody that's up ahead of him in first, second, and third. So this is absolutely going to work out in his favor. I'm already saying it now.
Well, the only thing that you can't discount, and we're going to watch Alfie Sharon Jr. come to pit lane. Right side goes in the air, so Alfie Sharon Jr. is going to take tires. But the only thing that you might want to think about here, if we can think about it, and thinking sometimes is a challenge for me, especially in the middle of an automobile race. But Justin, how about it? What do you do if you got a late race caution and you didn't save that set? Some of these guys have saved it. Now it's cost them a lap on the racetrack, right? Almost, but some of these guys do have fresh tires. So if you're the first car 1 lap down, if you're Michael Bennett, and you didn't take tires on that first stop,
All right, man,
and we do have a caution.
Caution is out.
Caution on the speedway. It's Thomas
It is.
Welch.
Yep. He just lost it coming off of turn 2.
We're watching it. Watching it now. Thomas Welch in the number 9 Mountain Dew Chevrolet Camaro. He got. We'll watch it one more time from a different angle, but he kind of got down in that bump off of 2 over there, and it just kind of shot him loose a little bit.
Yeah, that bump over in 1 and 2 will absolutely catch you off guard if you hit it the wrong way.
Yeah, it does, and tough break for Thomas Welch, 25th, 3 laps down already on the day, but it just kind of it can make for a long day when you have something like that happen. I've done that. I know you've probably done that, Justin. You've had something like this happen when you're already behind. But fortunate for Thomas Welch, he doesn't really hit anything. Doesn't really hit anything too hard. Just kind of kisses the nose a little bit. That's not something that that should require a fast repair if he elects not to do it. The big beneficiary in all this is Chris Klein, because Klein had not yet pitted.
Yeah, Chris Klein is going to. He was staying out as long as he could, and it worked out tremendously in his favor. So this is going to be interesting as we get into the closing stages of the race.
It most certainly will. So Chris Klein, Michael Bennett, those two were kind of on an alternate strategy, as was there was it Sisk that came in early? One of these guys had come in quite early. It was Gones. It was Chris Gones that had come in. He was on like 31 lap old tires. So Chris Gones has also stopped and taken a set on the 41. That's who I was thinking of. But to reset the field for you, Caleb Sisk is your leader. He is on 7 lap old tires. Chris Klein is going to line up second. Chris Klein has just changed tires. Michael Bennett will be third. He's on 7 lap old shoes. And then Chris Gones, well, he is likewise on brand new sticker tires. Alfie Sharon Jr. is going to round out the top 5. Now, Alfie had just stopped, right? So he was coming off a pit lane when this whole thing happened. So Alfie Sharon Jr. should be in good shape on tires. Nicholas Tucker is 6th. He's still on the lead lap, right on the tail end of it. Sharon, Tucker, Durkee, Sizzler, and Hawley will get the wave around here. But those guys are on various stages of newness. Tucker's been out 32 laps. Durkee, Sizzler, 8 and 9 respectively. Zeth Hawley, 13. But those are your lead lap cars and their tire status. If you get the wave around in NASCAR, you do not get the chance to pit, do you, Justin?
No, you don't, because the wave around happens with 1 to go. And depending on which track it is that you get the wave around on, you'll probably either catch up to the field, or if it's a short track, example, Martinsville, you're pretty much going to be halfway down the back stretch before right when the green flag flies.
Yeah, and that's, that's a huge rules difference between between the open wheel stuff and that many of our fans here on P1 are accustomed to. And please do hit that like, hit that thumbs up, give us the like, hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying the stream here of the NTRL Prospec Custom Accessories Xfinity Series, excuse me. But that's something that many of our open wheel fans, as the lights go out, may not be used to. You take the wave around in NASCAR, you do not get the wave around as the green flag is just about ready to come back out here. 109 of 140 complete. Caleb Sisk hits the loud pedal, and away we go at Rockingham one more time.
Caleb Sisk tries to pull away as they go through 1 and 2 here. He's got a little bit of an advantage here, but Chris Gones, like you said, as well as Chris Klein, on the freshest tires, somewhat freshest tires here, so they're going to try and capitalize on any mistake that Caleb Sisk will incur, so to say.
Now he's got now 10 laps on the tire, 10 laps in the tires on that leading machine. Is the good already gone off of those things? We got a car spinning into the inside. That's Chris Klein.
Yep. And he gets hit.
Tough break for Chris Klein.
I think he got sideswiped by Benjamin McKinnon.
Well, let's see what happens here. Coming off of corner number 2, and he gets in that hole there. We've talked about that. That's already claimed several machines, but same thing happens to Chris Klein. Tags the inside wall with the nose, and along. Ooh.
No, it was Mike Corvo.
Indeed, it was, and it's so hard to try to avoid that. Little side lick. You think you could have it missed, and big damage on the 97 front and driver's side, and let's see if we can't get back and.
There was another car that got involved as well.
Yeah, let's see if we.
That was Anthony Williams.
We're gonna take a look on board here from Corvo, and then we'll go to Anthony Williams. Look up out in ahead, fans. But this is how much, and we're doing this in half time. This is not real time. You see the car spin down toward the bottom. He's coming back up the track. Mike Corvo had committed to miss it low and didn't just quite get back across the speedway. And then we'll look at it from Anthony Williams as well.
Now back to Chris Klein. He just lost it coming off of turn 2.
Yeah, and that'll happen. We're watching Anthony Williams just maybe grazed it in there. You got to feel bad for Mike Corvo, though. Great run for the 97 today. Had it up just inside or outside the top 10, depending on what the circumstances of the pit cycles were. You see the 51 on pit road. He is absolutely destroyed. Chris Klein obviously had to tow that. He will have, by my count, a fast repair. And we watch the 97. He snaps back into place, so he'll get back out and get going. But just a tough break for a number of really strong cars. At least Mike Corvo will not lose all that much time. He was able to get his car back around. We are showing Chris Klein on pit lane. That is the tow. 2 minutes and 46 seconds to get the 51 back into pit lane. Now in excess of 3 minutes, and so just a tough situation for Chris Klein. He does have that fast repair, but he's going to go multiple laps down as a result of this incident. So we'll reset the field for you. Caleb Sisk leads it. Chris Goins is second. Goins has the fresher tires by far of anybody in that front 5. 8 laps on his, 14 for Sisk, 11 laps on the tires for Alfie Sharon in third. Michael Bennett is fourth. He's got 14 laps on his current run. And then Paul Durkee will round out your top 5, 16 laps on his current tires. Nicholas Tucker is, I believe, blinking. So
yes, he is.
So there's 2 laps on his current run, and so Nicholas Tucker has come and put on a fresh pair of boots, as has Zeth Hawley and Matt Sizzler. The only other car on the lead lap, Andy Sizemore, runs 9th. Nick Biddy is 10th. He is 1 lap down. Pace car is off. Caleb Sisk will lead it. We go green one more time. Lap 116 of 140 from Rockingham.
Back underway as they go out towards turn number 1, and Caleb Sisk is hoping that no more cautions happen. But as is the case, even in real life, the late cautions will absolutely fly when they feel like it, so to say.
Yeah, and that's one of those things too. You're a place like Rockingham, and it's difficult to drive, and you've made it this far, and now it's time to turn up the wick and go for the flag, go for the money. It is very, very easy, especially off of turn 2, to turn the car loose, and have that nose in deal on the backstretch, come off of turn 4, spin the car down pit lane, just getting back to the gas too early. But we're going to have a dandy battle for the lead brewing here between Goins, Sisk, and Alfie Sharon. Those cautions really helped Sisk and Sharon as we watch Chris Goins go purple, 24.289 on his last lap. But anytime you have a few laps more on your tires, those cautions really can help you out, can't they?
Indeed they can, and when those cautions fly at the most perfect time, you just start saying to yourself in your head, hallelujah, this is going to work out in our favor. We hope.
Absolutely. Good battle for the lead, though. Sis, Gones, Sharon right together. Michael Bennett just a few car lengths back, as is Paul Durkee, Matt Sizzler 6th. Nicholas Tucker 7th, Seth Hawley 8th, and Andy Sizemore 9th. Those are the lead lap machine. We've got a caution on the speedway.
And once again, it's the Paul Walker scheme. I think he had help on this one.
Well, let's check it out. There is Sean Roberts, the number 33. This might have started this might have started a corner or two before it finished.
Yeah, going into turn 1. Sean Roberts side by side with the 9. The 9 washes up just a little bit, puts the Paul Walker scheme into the wall, and I think something broke on Sean Roberts' car because he has decided to retire the car from the rest of the race.
Now, he was one that used his fast repair earlier in the event, and so Sean Roberts, and there you see it. I mean, he goes down into 3 and just no steering on that car, and then just kind of finishes it off a little bit. But tough break for the 33 of Sean Roberts to end his day. So set the scene one more time. Caleb Sisk, your leader. Gones is 2nd. Sharon 3rd. Bennett 4th. Durkee is 5th. Matt Sizzler is 6th. Nicholas Tugger 7th. Seth Hawley 8th. Andy Sizemore 9th. Those are your lead lap machines. Nick Biddy should get the lucky dog here. That would put him back on the lead lap, and there you see him fly past.
And Nick Biddy is absolutely happy to be back on the lead lap here. That'll put 10 cars on the lead lap.
Now, I've got a shiny new dime that says if Nick Biddy has a set of tires in the pits, he's going to come get them. And we'll watch and see if he does just that. If you're the lucky dog, you can pit. You do have that opportunity, unlike the wave around.
Yes, you do.
And so I don't think that Sis, Gones, Sharon, Bennett, Durkee, the front 5 they're not going to stop. Sizzler, Tucker, and Hawley did on that last go round. Andy Sizemore did not. Let's see. Sizemore is not going to come. Biddy is not either. And so that tells me that they just simply do not have tires left, Justin.
Nope, they do not, and that pretty much puts them into tire conservation mode here.
Absolutely. So, just kind of working under the caution. Caleb Sisk, your leader. Chris Gones 2nd. Gones does have the purple lap, by the way, as denoted by the purple position marker on the scoring pylon. Alfie Sharon Jr. is 3rd. Michael Bennett 4th, Paul Durkee is 5th, Matt Sizzler 6th, Nicholas Tucker 7th, Seth Hawley 8th, Andy Sizemore 9th, and Nick Biddy freshly back on the lead lap. That will be your top 10. Dylan Bryant, Skylar Harrod, Jesse Redding, Anthony Williams, and Mike Corvu. That is 11th through 15th. These cars are all one lap down, as is Joseph Bennett and Derek Welch in 17th. 2 laps down in 18th, Jarrett Woodard, then Justin Lawson and Paul Ferdiani. Rounds out your top 20, followed by Benjamin McKinnon, Chris Klein, and Joshua Moore. That completes the cars 2 laps down. Thomas Welch is 3 laps down in 24th. Russell Endicott, 25th. Scott Milner, 26th. Beginning cars 4 lap down in 27th. Chuck Kiger, Chris Schusler. Joe DeVete is 29th. He is 8 laps in arrears. Out of the race, Sean Roberts, Hayden Malcolm, Brandon Coleman, 30th, 31st, and 32nd. Tom Barish is still circulating now. He is 6 laps behind Brandon Coleman, 62 laps down, but he does have the ability to make up one position, and this is a championship, right? And as you saw earlier at the top of the broadcast, and we'll bring it back up here just very quickly. One championship point can make a difference, especially in a fight as close as this one. Pace car is off. Racing is about ready to resume. 15 laps to go from Rockingham.
15 to go, and it's all on the line now. Everybody trying to find their way towards the front to dethrone Caleb Sisk, who has been absolutely spectacular already in this race with an incredible pit strategy early on. But as is the case, that's pretty much out the window now, because with 14 to go, 15 to go this time by, it's going to be every driver for themselves. Even if you have teammates, that goes out the window as they go through 1 and 2.
Nicholas Tucker worth the price of admission coming through turns 1 and 2. He had that 88 car flat sideways one more time as he works on the back of Paul Durkee. Andy Sizemore, huge lift. But these guys are all going for it now. There's no more tire conservation, Justin. It's time to go for the money.
Like you said, tire conservation is now out the window. Burn up those tires, because it's going to be a barn burner here. I guarantee it. We're going to have a good finish. Oh, Nicholas Tucker with a huge send going into turn 3. Gets into the back of Paul Durkee. No harm, no foul, as they continue on and they head down towards turn number 1.
Also, just to put a finer point on that, as we watch Nicholas Tucker go full send into turns 1 and 2 one more time, Michael Bennett has gotten by Alfie Sharon Jr. for 4th. Matt Sizzler is going to work on the 78 to the high side. He's coming for 4th now. Sizzler on the charge, looking toward that podium, and we have a battle for the lead here. Sisk and Gones going at it for the top spot.
Yeah, the two that were battling early on here have reacquainted themselves, so to say, side by side. A good battle. Chris Gones sends it going in on Chris and caution.
Caution is out.
It's getting so good too. And that would be on the backstretch in turn 3. That is Derek Welch.
That is the number 1 of Derek Welch, and let's see what sort of misfortune befell the number 1 machine. Turn 2 again. Justin. Just looked like they kind of came together over there. I'm not the chief steward, but a little bit of contact and a good hard lick for Derek Welch. That's going to send him to pit lane for his fast repair. And we're under caution with less than 10 laps to go here at Rockingham.
Yeah, I'm noticing that there was a little bit of netcode contact between Russell Endicott and Derek Welch as they were coming off of turn 2 here.
The P1
Derek Welch washed up just a tad bit. Thought he was clear of Russell Endicott, and yeah.
Again, I'm not the chief steward. We did show it from the P1 airship. Unfortunately, the thick fog here at Rockingham, 100% humidity, has made it so you can't really see it. But there was a pretty decent gap between those two cars. Looked like it might have been a little bit of netcode. And how about the number 6? That's Joe DeVee just sneaking through there, not to make any more contact than necessary with the number 1. So we're going to go back to live action. Derek Welch has made it back to pit lane. He will take his fast repair. He will remain, or should remain, 1 lap in arrears to leader Caleb Sisk.
He should, depending on how long it takes for set fast repair to happen.
Absolutely,
but it shouldn't take long.
It shouldn't take long, and they're just now coming off a turn number 4. So plenty of time there for Derek Welch, although he remains on pit lane. Did he get out? He might have had to. There he goes. No? He might have had to have towed that car, Justin. So looking back on the SWR machine of Caleb Sisk, that's Skunk Works Racing on the 006. Chris Gones second, Michael Bennett third, Matt Sizzler fourth, Alfie Sharon rounds out your top 5, followed by Paul Durkee, Nicholas Tucker, Zeth Hawley, Andy Sizemore, and Nick Biddy. The misfortune of Derek Welch is the good fortune of Dylan Bryant. He was among our leaders earlier today. Dylan Bryant has got the lucky dog. Dylan Bryant has pulled the Superman Supra on the pit lane, and as evidenced by the left side of the car being in the air, he is going to have fresh tires here with 9 laps to go.
And those fresh tires are hopefully going to come in handy because he's going to come out in the middle of a huge pack of lead lap cars and lap down cars. And if he can find his way without having any other issues go wrong for him, he should be able to get close towards the leaders.
He should. Now, we know that new tires are worth a second a lap. We know that. However, we also know that Dylan Bryant is going to be scored 11th. He is the lucky dog. And so anytime you're the lucky dog, Justin, you do go to the tail end of the longest line. And so unfortunately, no wave by the lap down cars as we're accustomed to. He's going to be the tail end of the longest line for Dylan Bryant. But he is definitely going to charge into this pack with sabers drawn, because he's going to be riding a rocket ship.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be hearing the bugle charge call from that car.
We are indeed. So Sisk, Gones, your front row, Bennett and Sizzler the second, Durkee and Sharon the third, Tucker Hawley make up the fourth row, Biddy and Andy Sizemore row 5 as we head back to green. 8 laps to go, coming to get 7.
Green, green, green.
7 laps to go, and it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be every driver for themselves. They want that lead, and they're going to do everything that they can to get that lead, no matter what happens.
Michael Bennett gets to the inside of Matt Sizzler. He's going to go to third. Sizzler back to fourth. Now Sharon working on him for fifth. Meanwhile, let's check on the progress of our man with fresh tires. That's Dylan Bryant. Doesn't seem that Dylan is up to full song. Could be a problem on that 8 machine. Either way, let's go back to the battle for the lead. That's Chris Gones trying to chase down.
We almost had a wreck there with Matt Sizzler and Mike Coravini.
That was Michael Bennett.
Michael Bennett, yeah.
Michael Bennett. I thought Sizzler was going to have a run down there to the bottom. Michael Bennett shut that down, and Matt Sizzler gets out of the gas. That's going to bring Alfie Sharon back into the discussion for fourth, put him up to fourth. Maybe Sizzler is going to very hotly contest that. Sizzler on 10 lap fresher tires, by the way.
Yeah, but right now, with that little contact that happened when he tried to send it in on Michael Bennett, it is not working out in his favor, and he's stuck on the high side as they come off of turn 2.
Now, that can be an advantage here or a disadvantage, depending on how you want to look at it, depending on where your car runs best. But those two extremely close for Sizzler and Sharon. Front 3 have escaped. So this is the best battle on the racetrack right now between Sizzler, Sharon, and Durkee. And Paul Durkee!
He saved it! No, wait a minute. He's bouncing up the wall, and...
He saved it!
He saved it not once, but twice!
Well done for the number 13 Meineke Mufflers Chevrolet for Paul Durkee. He goes back to 10th. We're going to go back, though, because the battle for the front 3 is starting to heat up again. That's Michael Bennett third, Chris Gones second, Caleb Sisk, your leader, followed by Sizzler in fourth, Sharon in fifth. Zeth Hawley has worked his way back up to sixth.
Flag this time by. Has Chris Gones got anything left in the tank for Caleb Sisk? He throws it down to the bottom in 1 and 2. He's running that yellow line as best he can. He's gaining just a tad bit. He might have something. He's going to have to send it hard as they go off into turn 3.
Shades of Bobby Hamilton and Dale Earnhardt Sr. way back in 1997, but it's not enough for Chris Gones. Caleb Sisk is going to come off of turn number 4 and win it from Michael Bennett, Matt Sizzler, and Alfie Sharon in fifth. What a tremendous race to the flag. Justin, what a tremendous, tremendous run to the flag we had.
Yeah, that pit strategy, that early pit strategy call paid off for Caleb Sisk. And what an incredible race that he had.
Yes, he did. An odd strategy. It put him out in front when the caution flags flew, and then he was able to make those older tires work. As we see Caleb Sisk, he's going to use the rest of the good years. The rear of that number 6. 006, excuse me.
That was one heck of a race.
Yes, sir, it most certainly was. And so your final here in the NTRL Prospec Custom Accessories Rockingham 140. Caleb Sisk, your winner. He started on the pole. He finished where he started. He made 2 stops and led 126 of the 140 laps. Chris Goins runs the fastest lap. He gains 4 spots. He'll stand on the middle step. Michael Bennett in the number 64, 26 spots he gained today. He'll take the bottom step in P3. Matt Sizzler 4th. Alfie Sharon Jr. is 5th. Zeth Hawley 6th. Nicholas Tucker 7th. Andy Sizemore 8th. Nick Biddy 9th. Paul Durkee is 10th. Those cars all on the lead lap. 11th, Dylan Bryant. He is the final car on the lead lap. He did come and get tires, although he must have had a problem on the 8 because he did not make the charge that we anticipated. Beginning 1 lap down, Jesse Redding, then Anthony Williams, Joseph Bennett, and Skylar Harrod will round out the top 15. 2 laps down, Justin Lawson, Joshua Moore, Chris Klein, Jarrett Woodard, and Benjamin McKinnon in 20th. 21st, Paul Ferdiani. 22nd, Thomas Welch. Russell Endicott, 23rd. Scott Milner brings it home 24th. And Chris Schusler persisted all day in the 61. He'll bring it home 25th. Chuck Kiger, 26th. Joe DeVede, 27th. Derek Welch, late race misfortune befalls the number 1, puts him 28th. Sean Roberts, 29th. And Hayden Malcolm will run 30th. The final cars in today's field out of the race, Brandon Coleman, Tom Barish, Crystal Volano, and shotgun on the field, Mike Koravu.
Also to note, Skylar Harrod and Mike Koravu were disqualified post-race.
Indeed. And so those results, as always, unofficial. We will will await the final ruling from the stewards, and we'll have those results available for you next week. Meanwhile, get queued up and ready here, and see if we can't bring in our 3rd place finisher, Michael Bennett, in the number 64 machine. All right. Michael Bennett, Mark Murphy, Justin Petchow up in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
I do. How's it going?
You know what, Michael? Heck of a run here for you today. You made up 26 spots. Talk to us about driving through the field at Rockingham in that 64 car.
Yeah, it was all about saving your tires and your fuel. The early caution definitely helped with our fuel strategy and what we were going to do from here on out. But I screwed up on both my qualifying laps. Felt like I probably should have been in the top 10, but made my day harder coming from the back. But it was probably more fun that way, conserving, watching people fall off, and just maintaining my speed and what I needed to do for myself. Actually, by putting myself in a hole like that.
For sure. Justin, you have anything for our 3rd place finisher?
Well, I did have a question, and now I literally just had a brain fart.
That'll happen.
It happens.
It happens. Well, I tell you what, Michael, heck of a run today. It was a pleasure watching you drive through the field. Do you have any shout-outs, friends, family, sponsors you'd like to take care of this evening?
Yeah, just my family for letting me come down and race on Monday nights. Taking time away from them. But yeah, all the guys at Lowline Motorsports, Joe, Anthony, Mike, Ryan, and Nick Biddy. Those guys have helped me, welcomed me in, and it made a difference, got me in this league. I had a rough start at the beginning of the season, but otherwise it's slowly getting better. So I'll take my first podium of this season for Xfinity and hopefully carry it to next week.
Absolutely. Well, good to have you, Michael. Congratulations on the third place. Get out of here and go celebrate. That's P3 Michael Bennett today from Rockingham in the number 64 H&B Siding Chevrolet Camaro. Michael, great run.
Thanks. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Second on the day is Chris, Mr. President Gones. Chris, Mark Murphy, Justin Petchauer in the P1 broadcasting booth. How you doing this evening?
Hey, doing well, guys. How are you?
You know, not too bad. Started up front. You finished that way. It was eventful. Talk to us about your race.
Yeah, so we just tried to keep her up front, keep the nose clean, and everything like that. So me and Caleb there, we ran that first stint. I mean, we were pretty much right in each other's tire tracks the whole time. So, that first pit stop, after that first pit stop, I started second guessing my strategy choice. I saw so many people take tires, and I was a little nervous, and I dropped back quite a bit. But then I was able to pick it back up. It did stay green long enough for me to make it back around for that second round of pit stops. And then the caution comes out, and I was hoping we were in pretty good shape because we had a set of tires on the wall, and I knew that Caleb didn't, and a lot of those guys up front did not. And there were so few cars on the lead lap, I could basically take a free set of tires. And at the end, Caleb just didn't quite have enough enough laps on those old tires for my new ones to make a difference. I think he only had about 2 or 3 laps on them difference. So at the end, can't complain about a second place. I was hoping for a longer green flag run there at the end to see if I had anything for him, but he ran pretty much flawless race, and congrats to him.
Absolutely. Justin, you have anything for our second place finisher?
With all the chaos that was happening, were you trying to figure out when to save tires or basically just use them all?
Well, for that first run, I was pretty conservative on the tires because I knew I was going to run those same tires again after that stop. But once I got through there, I knew with that strategy, with everybody else taking tires on that first stop, I knew I was playing catch up. So I was just, foot to the floor and just using them up as much as I could there with those the new sets that I did have, and just fell just a little bit short there.
Absolutely. Well, Chris, amazing run. Well done. Friends, family, sponsors, anybody you'd like to say hello to this evening?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first and foremost, I want to thank the guys over at NTRL for putting these leagues on. We have such a good time with these leagues. These are a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys coming in mid-season at P1 to broadcast these things too. Definitely helps us to be able to go back and watch and just, enjoy it a little bit. So I want to shout out Popple, Track Bar Media, Eric Dotson, State Farm Agency, Castle Products, HBR TV, all of my teammates over at Track Bar Motorsports. Alfie had a top 5 with us. I know Jesse got trapped a lap down, but I think he ended up not too bad. And then Crystal over there didn't necessarily have the best of luck either. So. But look forward to next week. I don't even remember where we are. I think Bristol, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe I'm not looking forward to next week. So, but either way, we'll see you guys then.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us, Chris. That second place finisher today, Chris Gones. Keep going fast, having fun, man, and we'll see you next week.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. And now for the man of the hour, we're gonna get Caleb Sisk up here. Talk about his big win. Caleb, you got Mark Murphy, Justin Petchauer up in the P1 broadcasting booth. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
You led 126 laps. You sat on the pole. I think you got everything but the fastest lap. That went to Chris by about 100th of a second. Did you ever feel like you were going to be challenged in this one, or was it pretty straightforward for you?
I'll be honest with you. Chris and I, we raced pretty hard that first stint. and I felt really, really good when I saw that he didn't take tires on the first stop, and I was just trying to lap as many as I could, and the last thing I wanted to see was that yellow at 105 or 106, whatever it was, and it kind of reset some of the field, and it gave Chris brand new tires right behind me, and I was on 6-lap old tires, and that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but at a Rockingham, man, 6 laps on your tires is a ton, and just thankful to kind of be able to hold off there and stay out front.
Yeah, I was going to say this is a place that it has the tires wear out under caution. It seems like, so well done to you for holding them off with those older tires. Justin, you have any questions for our winner?
Well, I was going to ask one question, but I think my question was most likely answered already with the tire strategy and how it played out in your favor at the throughout the race.
Yeah, I'm kind of thankful for that. The Sis Speed Shop, we kind of try to pride ourselves a little bit on calling good strategy and running good lines and trying to know when to burn your stuff up and when to take care of it. And it kind of worked out tonight. And I mean, honestly, watching the broadcast probably was pretty good between Chris and I. We ran door to door multiple times during the first stint, multiple times there at the end, and didn't wreck each other. Showed that you can race and not be out of control wrecking. So that was pretty good.
Yes, sir. Always a good time, and always good fun watching good, hard, clean racing. You have any friends, family, sponsors you'd like to shout out today?
Yeah, I mean, Skunkworks Graphics. I know they might have said something, but I appreciate them a ton. Alan Grote is an amazing person. He hung out with me in the race. He was giving me great intel on where guys were, what lap times they were running. It really helps me make good decisions about when I need to push. My teammates tonight, Nick and Skylar, finished 9th and 15th, so that's a good run. Rockingham's a hard track, so if you're not used to racing this car here, I mean, it can really it can teach you some hard lessons in some bad ways. So, and then the Sis Speed Shop, glad to add a checkered here. Got suspended last week, so we missed out on a little bit of the fun, and we'll try to get back after it next week.
Absolutely. Well, Caleb, good to have you back. Keep going fast, having fun, and enjoy this one, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That is Caleb Sisk. He is tonight's winner from Rockingham. And Justin, we had a pretty doggone entertaining race when it came right down to it.
Indeed, we did, and majority of the time, let me reword that. Every now and then, you'll get barn burners at Rockingham where it's just like, ooh, that was not a good one. But tonight we saw a pretty good one.
Yeah. I mean, it's I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll say it as many times as I need to. I always enjoy races like this where league owners, they set the fuel back, they turn the fuel back, force guys to stop under green, limit new tires so you can't just come put on new tires at every pit stop. It really makes it enjoyable. You have to think your way through these races. And we definitely saw that from Caleb Sisk. Alternate strategy to Chris Goins, who stayed out, double stinted his tires early. Maybe Chris is saving for that late race caution. Michael Bennett was on a differing tire strategy as well. 3 different ways to get to the podium for our 3 podium finishers, and they all managed to get there. If you would like to see more, next week we will be at Kansas, same time, same channel, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard, P1 Broadcasting, 125 laps at the 1.5 miles. That is a night race, 65% fuel with 2 sets of tires, so should be great fun there.
Hey, Mark, before you go, I want to say something real quick, but go ahead and do your sign off here, and then I want to say something to everybody watching at home real quick. This is Gary.
Sure. 2 weeks, we're going to be 165 laps at Richmond, Chicagoland on September 23rd, 120 laps at noon, and then the final race of the regular season will be 105 laps at Michigan. For Mark Murphy, Justin Petchauer, everyone at P1 Broadcasting, I'd like to thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, smash the subscribe. Anything that you can do to support the stream is absolutely appreciated. It also does support the series. And again, just wonderful, wonderful racing. I'd like to thank everybody involved and thank everybody out there, first responders, military, and everybody that keeps us safe. For P1, Justin Petchauer, Mark Murphy, signing off from Rockingham, North Carolina.
Yeah, before you sign off here, real quick on the stream, again, Mark, guys did a good job tonight. I have a zero tolerance policy for name calling in chat, and if you do name calling in chat, you're going to get bounced. So that's what happened tonight. This is Mark's third race doing this, and each race has slowly been an improvement. If there's anyone out there that would like to do better or would like to come in and suggest different ways to make these programs better, by all means, we are all ears. But this is not an easy thing to do. I always say this at the end of our IndyCar broadcast when we do them for free for the IndyCar community. These broadcasts are not easy, and they require time and money and energy to create. And just press the play button and start talking about the action. There's a lot more than what's going on that meets the eye there. And if anyone would like to see an idea of what goes on in the background to put these races on, and because they think it's easy and they want to call people names, by all means, I'll be happy to give you a guided tour of how this operates and everything, but calling people names is not going to improve how this operates. So please just keep in mind that there are real people with real feelings, and they're doing this as a hobby. We're not even pros. We're not even semi-pros. We do this for fun because we like racing just as much as you like racing. So when you're going to out there call people names, just remember that there is a real person behind everything that's going on here. So again, I can't thank the NTRL enough for their time and hospitality this season. And we will continue to improve on all of our broadcasts going forward. But today, again, and this is going forward, zero tolerance is in chat. If anyone wants to call anybody's name, and it's going to get you a little time on the sidelines. And I'm sorry if you don't like the way that's happening, but that is our channel and that is our policy. So have everybody, please have a great night. And we'll catch you on the next race here, race here of the NTRL next week here at, we got a Kansas night race. So that's going to be a good one. See y'all then.